Members of the largest party of the ruling coalition, Nepali Congress, close to leader Shekhar Koirala, have called for 40% seats allocated to the party in the upcoming provincial and parliamentary elections. Good morning, I am Prarambha Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Election Commission expedites preparations for the November 20th provincial and general elections. Massive transfer in police administration to impact upcoming polls feared. Major political parties start centering their activities on the upcoming provincial and parliamentary elections. Leaders reach out to constituencies. Election interest enhances at public level. Ukraine president warns any Russian soldiers who shoot at the besieged Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant will be targeted by security services. Accuses Moscow of turning the plant into a Russian army base. And Brentford thrash a symbolic Manchester United side, 4 goals in opening 35 minutes. Ten Hag's woeful start to the Premier League season continues. The Election Commission has now expedited preparations for the November 20th provincial and general elections. The Commission has started the preparations on war footing as it is primarily responsible for the overall management of the elections. The Commission, meanwhile, faces the challenge of stopping the parties from making the polls extravagant. With the announcement of the elections, the Commission has geared up with the tasks of resource management and formulating election directorate. The Commission, which has reached a mindset of asking for around 10 billion rupees, has said that it would move ahead with the management of required logistics once the budget is guaranteed. The Commission faces the additional challenge of clamping down on parties and not allowing them to adopt extravagant approach. The Commission, in the meantime, has started the management of logistics for the upcoming elections. The Commission is required to manage 58 different kinds of election materials, like in the local level polls, as the Commission is evaluating the need of the materials. The Commission has estimated logistics worth 1 billion rupees. Meanwhile, the police administration has been alleged of its involvement in promotion games of its officials to influence the upcoming elections. The transfer of 131 DSPs last week has been connected with election, as ruling parties are always alleged of making most of their power to influence the election results. Major political parties have started centering their activities on the upcoming provincial and parliamentary elections. CPNUML, that had become the largest political party from the last general election 5 years ago, has started mobilizing leaders for a nationwide campaign, while the ruling coalition parties and other small parties have finalized various programs. Meanwhile, some parties have yet to collaborate for election campaigns as they are eyeing the strategy of the ruling alliance. With the announcement of election date on the 20th of November, leaders of CPNUML have already started mobilizing in their respective areas. The leaders have reached respective constituencies and intensified gatherings, trainings and meetings with active local cadres. The main opposition is preparing to announce nationwide election campaign after holding its central committee meeting on the 27th of August. Likewise, the ruling coalition partner Nepali Congress has decided to launch a nationwide election campaign from 26th August to the 9th of September. Congress is also preparing for district-level training campaign after 14th September, following the training program for its representatives elected during the local-level election. Another ruling partner, CPN Maoist Center, has also decided to hold provincial-level training programs from the 17th of August. The party is preparing to jointly conduct election campaigns instantly after the ruling alliance reaches consensus regarding seat allocation. Likewise, ruling coalition partners CPN Unified Socialist and Janata Samajwadi Party have also started election campaigns in the district levels. Meanwhile, Loktantrik Samajwadi Party, that emerged after the split with Janata Samajwadi Party, has yet to begin its campaign as the party has not decided on poll partnership. With the intensification of election campaigns by parties along with their agendas, election fervor has increased among the general public as well. Laiko Vaila Nach, also known as Vairav Nach, an ancient dance performed by masked men of the Newar community in Bhaktapur's Madhepur Thimi, has begun and will continue for 4 days. The Vaila Nach that begins from Laiko in Madhepur Thimi was exhibited at Balkumari temple premises yesterday. Vaila Nach is demonstrated for 4 nights, which begins a day after the Kai Jatra festival. Vice President Nanda Bahadur Pun observed the dance last night. 5 artists clad as deities participate in their centuries-old dance through tantric rituals. The dance had remained halted for 47 years, however, with the active initiation of the local residents of Madhepur Thimi, Vaila Nach has resumed since past few years. The Federation of Nepalese Chamber of Commerce and Industries, the umbrella organization of the country's private sector, has unveiled Vision 2030, while Confederation of Nepalese Industries has come up with Make in Nepal campaign. In the meantime, the Confederation of Banks and Financial Institutions Nepal has also released a vision paper targeting to establish their branches in at least 10 foreign countries. Now, despite all the enthusiasm, it might not be as easy to translate these documented programs into reality. The government in the year 2015 had released Vision 2030, citing the need to address sustainable development. The program, introduced by the National Planning Commission, requires the government to work under 17 different headings in 4 sectors by 2030. Likewise, it is not easy for Nepal to transform from low-income economies to lower-middle-income economies by 2026. To meet the challenge of sustainable economic growth, the country needs to spend over 2 trillion rupees annually, while the private sector needs to invest 750 billion rupees in the same period of 1 year. The national economy, badly dented by coronavirus pandemic, makes it more challenging to meet the target of the 15th five-year plan. The vision papers presented by the private sector can be useful to meet the target of sustainable development, but analysts say government must first bring changes to its policies. The government has expressed commitment to support the Vision 2030 launched by the private sector. The private sector's initiation is also seen as a boost to the government's plans of meeting its target by 2030. These programs, launched by FNCCI, CNI and CBFIN, would require billions of rupees in investment, while it is going to be challenging to find resources for these ambitious programs. CBFIN, the umbrella organization of the banking sector, has also introduced Vision 2030 paper with an aim to open branches of Nepali banks in at least 10 foreign destinations. Likewise, the FNCCI has plans to enhance national GDP to $100 billion and add 150,000 new jobs every year in the industrial sector, while decreasing the import by 50% as well. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces regarding waste management in their municipalities. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice. For सङ्कलन गर्नलाई घर-घरमा रेगुलरली आउँदैन.
डम्पिङ साइट त्यतिखेर गर्छ. डम्पिङ साइटमा कोही पनि फालिन्न.
जुन चाहिँ फोहोर मैलाहरू छ त्यसलाई चाहिँ छुट्याएर राखेर हामीले त्यसरी चाहिँ गर्यौं भने पक्कै पनि राम्रो हुन्छ.
प्लास्टिक जन्य चीजहरू चाहिँ डढाइराखेका छौं भने अब कुहिने चीजहरू चाहिँ बारीतिर मलमा सदुपयोग गरिरहेछौं.
ठाउँ-ठाउँमा डस्टबिनहरू राखेर
डम्पिङ साइट बनाउने सवालमा कतिपय ठाउँमा चाहिँ प्राकृतिक सम्पदाको अनि पानीका मुहानहरूको ख्याल नगरिकन जथाभावी फाल्ने गरिएको देखिन्छ.
बाँस चिरेर त्यसलाई चोया बनाएर त्यसको डस्टबिन बनाएर हामीले फोहोर मैलालाई व्यवस्थित गरिरहेका छौं.
फोहोर व्यवस्थापन सम्बन्धी कुनै किसिमको वडाले पनि पहल गरेको छैन.
सिसा काटी फलामहरू चाहिँ हामीले घरमा नै छुट्याएर कबाडी उद्योगहरुमा दिने गरेका छौं.
जुन ढंगले व्यवस्थित हुनुपर्ने त्यति खाले छैन.
डस्टबिनहरु ठाउँ-ठाउँमा छ तर त्यसको युज भइरा छैन.
नगरपालिकाले त अब टिप्परबाट एकदम दैनिक रूपमा फोहोर उठाउने गरेको छ.
It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, what is your take on the food management and trading companies' failure to adopt a more professional approach? Your options are A, incompetent leadership, B, government interference, and C, lack of competition. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And now, before we wrap up, here's a look into the top stories one more time. Election Commission expedites preparations for the November 20 provincial and general elections. Massive transfer in police administration to impact upcoming polls feared. Major political parties start centering their activities on the upcoming provincial and parliamentary elections. Leaders reach out to constituencies. Election interest enhances at public level. Ukraine president wants any Russian soldiers who shoot at the besieged Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant will be targeted by security services, accuses Moscow of turning the plant into a Russian army base. And Brentford thrash a shambolic Manchester United side, 4 goals in opening 35 minutes. Ten Hag's woeful start to the English Premier League season continues. That is all for the moment. Our next English bulletin is at 11 a.m. Thank you for staying with us. Have a beautiful day ahead.